Hello, writers. So you guys are already up to your final step of the writing process. Can you guess what it is? You're right. We're about to start editing. So we finished revising our Russian books. We finished revising our English books. And today we are going to learn how to edit our books. Okay? So revising, if you remember, had to do with changing the content. Content means what the book is about, the meaning of it, right? We looked for good words to use, those juicy words. So we tried to avoid using the same word a few times. Instead, we replaced it and changed it up and used words that are new, some synonyms, right, of some other words. Then what we also did, we took out some parts of the book that we thought were not necessary there. And we also added some more details, right? Sometimes we added more details, sometimes we explained something. So that was revising, and we are finished with it. We're putting it to the side. Now, today we're going to start editing. That's the final process, and then we'll be ready to publish our books. I'm so excited to read all of your books that you're going to publish. I already know some of your topics, but I want to see what it's all about and how it comes to an end. So let's take a look at my book that I have. I'll share the screen, and we will start editing my book together with you. Remember, my Russian books was about bunnies, but I didn't want to use the same topic, and actually I shouldn't. That's not in the rules, right? We're supposed to write two books with two different topics, one in Russian, one in English, two different topics. So my Russian topic was about animals, bunnies, and this is about countries. Now you guys can do about any topic you want, games, sports, books, honestly, anything you want, as long as it's a teaching book, informational book, right? So mine is about country of Georgia. That's where I was born, and I wanted to write about that country. It's a country that's not very well known in the United States, so why not? The Country of Georgia is the title. I'm sure you already read my book. I uploaded it before. That's the picture of the capital of Georgia. Capital is Tbilisi. So it has some old architecture, some old fortresses right here, you see. So I have my title page. I already finished revising this book, so now I'm editing. Okay? Now, I should tell you what editing is before I get into editing my book, right? I know you already watched the videos on YouTube that I posted for you, so you already know what editing is. If it was a live lesson, I would ask you to let me know, but I will just tell you for now a little summary because you already watched what it's about, what is editing. So basically, editing has to do with the little details of your book. It's about the letters and the grammar. If revising is about the meaning and the content, this is about just the little details, fixing up the spelling, fixing up the grammar, making sure your verbs and nouns are used correctly, right? Making sure your sentences are not like this long one paragraph sentences. You cut them into small parts. They're called full sentences, but not fragments, not like sentences that don't make sense, that are not finished. So we're going to make sure we have sentences, and we need punctuation at the end of each sentence, right? So punctuation at the end of each sentence. And what kind of punctuation did we use? If it's a question, there should be a question mark. If it's an excited statement, there should be an exclamation mark. And most of the time, I'm going to use periods. So that's what I'm going to do in my editing. Spelling, punctuation. I'm going to look for capital letters. Am I using capital letters correctly? I only need my capital letters at the beginning of a sentence, or if it's a name. Unless it's a name of a place or a person, or unless it's a beginning of my sentence, I need to use lowercase letters. Now, it doesn't matter if you're typing, doesn't matter if you're writing, right? We used to use lowercase, uppercase, all of that mixture when we were in kindergarten. That's okay. We were still young. It was okay to use a mixture of all those letters when we were in first grade. Even in the beginning of the second grade. But guess what? You're about to be in third grade, right? It's May, first day of May, May 1st. June, and you are third graders. So no more using capital letters and lowercase as whatever we wish for, right? Capital letters, start the sentences. Everything else is lowercase. That's what we're gonna look for today. Am I using my capital and lowercases letters correct? Right? So let's start and we'll talk more as we go, as we see this. So as I'm reading, I'm going to think about these three main questions. Does it sound right? Does it sound right? Okay. Does it look right? Is my spelling looking right? And I'm gonna ask myself, do they use the nouns, pronouns correctly? Then does it make sense? Basically, if it makes sense, it should be floating. So let's see. Introduction. Introduction. Yeah, I stretched out my words. Everything seems correct. That was a long word. That's why I checked it. So a good point. We gotta check those long words. And I need to make sure all my sight words, or the tricky words we call them, are spelled correctly, because you guys already know most of the common sight words. So we should not have any of those sight words misspelled or spelled as they sound, right? We know our rules. In phonics, you're learning so many rules. Let's apply them to writing. All right. Do you know, that was my sight word right here. Yep, it's correct. Do you know, another sight word. Another sight word. You see that? I spelled all of them correctly because we learned them. Do you know that Georgia, I have a capital letter just like I should because it's the name of a country. Do you know that Georgia is a country? Question mark. Perfect. I should have question mark because it's a question. Most people in America have heard about the state of Georgia, but it is often a surprise that Georgia is a country. Oof. Let me see. That is actually a sight word, and we learned that sight word a long time ago. There's a U missing in there. Oops, I'm glad I caught it. There should be a U. Now let's write that U in. U. Oh, country. Yay. And my exclamation mark. Do you like to learn about? About? Another sight word. I know how to write this. I'm gonna fix it. About. A-B-O-U-T. Remember? I should put a U here. Do you like to learn about different cultures and countries? Question mark. Good. Then you should read this book. I will tell you about the location of Georgia, Georgian language, the famous dishes, and some traditions of Georgia. This is the flag of Georgia. Okay, looks good. I just had two words that I had to fix because they were my sight words, and I don't know why, but I misspelled my sight words. Is Georgia in Europe? That's a question. Why is there exclamation mark instead? Is Georgia in Europe? No, what that's? No, this is a question. I should put a question mark. Is Georgia in Europe? And if I want, I could have put exclamation mark as well. Yeah, maybe it's like, is Georgia in Europe? An excited question. That's fine, but the question mark still has to be there. You see that? Question mark and exclamation mark. Is it in Asia? Question mark and exclamation mark. Well, dear reader, if you're not exactly sure, you're not alone. Alone? Let me sound it out. Alone. No, that should be an N. Alone. And I know it's my sight word. And it even obeys quite well the rules, except for letter A, right? Should be long, but it's short. Alone. Okay, should there be a question mark? What do you think? Let me reread it. Sometimes when I'm editing, I'm losing my train of thoughts, right? So I need to go back and reread it. Well, dear reader, if you're not exactly sure, you are not alone. That's not a question. And that was exclamation mark, so that's correct. Let's keep going. In fact, there are still debates going on about that topic. Good, I'm using punctuation pretty well. However, it is known that Georgia is a Eurasian country. It means that a part of Georgia is in Europe and a part of it is in Asia. The capital city is Tbilisi. Georgia has beautiful green nature. Oops. It has a lot of rocks and mountains, such as the Caucasus Mountains. Oh, look at those mountains. Beautiful, right? Language. Georgia has a distinct language called Georgian. It does not belong to any family. Something is wrong here. And it's a tricky word. I should know this tricky word by now. Family, yes? And if I'm not sure, I can always look up in my dictionary. open a dictionary, or you have online dictionary, we can look it up. That belong to any family of languages. Yeah, so languages have families, and Georgia by itself, no family. It is similar to Greek and Armenian languages, as they also belong to their own language group. Georgian alphabet has 33 letters. It also has many funny sounds to those who do not speak it. Some people say that Georgian alphabet looks like an art or a bunch of hearts. What do you think? Yeah, I have a question mark right here, just like I should, because it's a question. Look at this alphabet. Looks like this one looks like a heart to me right here. Yeah. And which other one looks a heart to you? This maybe? Okay. Well, maybe this one too. All right. So we're gonna do one more page. The rest I'm gonna either finish by myself, or you guys, I'm gonna finish it with you on Tuesday probably when we call in our live lesson. All right. Famous food. Do you like cheese? If you do, that's a sight word. And I actually should spell it with double O by the rule, but it's a sight word, so there's only one U. If you do, you will lick Georgian food. You will lick Georgian food? That does not sound right. Like, like. Well, I know the rule. Remember, we were learning the phonics. I want to make an open sound here. So I'm going to put an E to make my I long. If you do, you will like Georgian food. Now it sounds good. If you do not, you meet as well try Georgian cheese. Huh? You might. I'm trying to say might. Might. That's not the might I'm looking for though. It sounds right, but I'm checking not just how it sounds. Remember I said in the beginning, we also check how does it look like. How does it sound? How does it look? Does it make sense? So 3 questions when we're editing. How does it sound? How does it look? Does it make sense? It passes the sound test. Yes, it sounds fine. It just doesn't look right to me, that word. And also, it doesn't make sense. You might. Might is like those dust mites, right? No, I'm not talking about dust here. That does not make sense. Let me reread it again. Do you like cheese? If you do, you will like Georgian food. I'm talking about food. If you do not, you might as well try Georgian cheese and you will probably change your mind. You probably. I'm trying to talk about probably. So that's sight word. Remember might, like possibly or maybe. And I know that sight word, there's GH that makes I long. You might as well try Georgian cheese and you will probably change your mind. Georgia is famous for a variety of cheeses. It also has a famous dish called hachapuri, which is kind of like pizza but without the tomato sauce. Some types of hachapuri comes with an egg. There's a special bread type, lavash, which is baked while sticking to the walls of the special stone oven. Georgians also love their walnuts and pomegranates. You will find many interesting looking foods with those 3 ingredients. Also, the fruits and veggies are fantastically aromatic and juicy. Grapes, figs, peaches, and apricots are common and delicious in Georgia. Oh, and wait, there is a delicious dessert made from nuts and fruits hanging on a string, churchella. Now, are you ready to take a look at the delicious food? Eggplant walnut, khachapuri jaruli, khachapuri maruli, different types of khachapuri. That's the lavash in the oven sticking to the wall, and different types of cheeses, right? And enjoy the lavash is now baked and served. Good. I fixed my mistakes and my editing is done for today. All right. So guys, we will continue editing my book. We're not gonna do all editing in one day. You're gonna have another day. Just get up, maybe half of your book done today. And I'll see you next time in our live lesson for Zoom on Tuesday, and we'll finish editing together. Until next time, bye-bye.